What's good, everybody? It's your boy 313 J-Mo here with another video for you guys, and we're gonna talk about Jarrad Davis today. Is he a bust? Is he not a bust? So first we gonna start off with his rookie year, because a lot of people talk about how we should have gotten Reuben Foster, but Reuben Foster is a bust. And TJ Watt was not as highly touted as Davis or Reuben Foster. So if we didn't get Jarrad Davis, we would have been drafting Reuben Foster. I just want to let everybody know that. Also, but his rookie year, he made the all-rookie team. He had 96 combined tackles, 65 solo tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits, and an interception. He was very solid. He was a middle linebacker, and he played solid for us. He was the best linebacker we had, although our linebacking core, you could say, was worse then than it is now. But all in all, he was solid that year. And then you look at his next 2 years, once his coaching changed, and he switched into a now base 3-4 defense that sometimes is multiple and changes and is fluid. And I will say, in 2018, Jarrad Davis played in more of a 4-3 defenses than he did in 2019. 2019, it was mostly 3-4 all the time, but we'll get into the differences with that, because most of the people that says Jarrad Davis isn't a bust says he's not playing in the right defense, or he's not playing the right position in the right defense. But looking at 2018, it was his best season: 6 sacks, 73 solo tackles, 100 combined tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hits. Very solid around the board. Was like okay in coverage, but he got pressure. It was just a very good season from Jarrad Davis. But the thing with his last year is he basically had 2 solid years in a row, and you saw improvement from year 1 to year 2. And year 3, he was just trash. He was terrible. He was one of the worst linebackers in coverage. He couldn't cover anything. He was whiffing on tackles, missing tackles. It just wasn't good for Jarrad Davis in that area. And in 2019, only 38 solo tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits, 63 combined tackles, and that's just not good. And then, he was never the best when it comes to being in coverage. We all know that. But in 2018, he was targeted 52 times for 36 completions, 69% completion percentage, 8 yards to completion, 5.5 yards to target for a 95 quarterback rating. Well, in 2019, targeted 37 times for 29 completions for a 78% completion percentage, 12.5 yards a completion, 9.8 yards to target, 116 quarterback rating. Just completely not good. But when you look at Jarrad Davis, you ask, has he been playing out of position in this defense? I think there is some merit to that, and we're going to talk about it, because for the most part, in his first 2 seasons, he was playing middle linebacker, and then this year he was playing middle linebacker and some weak side, some strong side, some not a lot. It was just I think we had him at middle linebacker, mainly just at middle linebacker. But I think this guy will be the best if he was a weak side linebacker. Now, you got to remember what weak side linebackers are at their core in the 3-4 defense. So at the core, look, a weak side linebacker is a jack of all trades, your ultimate do-everything linebacker, and they have to do 3 main things: rush the passer, get the runner, you stop that runner, and guard the slot receivers. But in base 3-4, they're less in pass coverage than any of the other linebackers position, whether that's strong side or middle linebacker. They're the ones that's supposed to be in coverage the least. And when you playing weak side linebacker, you got to be in the man and the zone, and you got to be able to get off blocks, have good speed and acceleration, and be able to tackle and have good agility. Your awareness and play recognition and instincts just have to be top notch if you want to be a good weak side linebacker. And I think that lines up right with what Jarrad Davis was doing. But it doesn't differ that much from the 4-3. But they hardly ever are in pass coverage. So, it's just about shedding blocks and just using your physical attributes and your ability to pursue and tackle, things that Jarrad Davis was very good at his first 2 years. But the weak side linebacker job is just to do all of the jobs and just use your power moves, your acceleration, just use all of your physical abilities, and you got to stop the running back. You got to get the quarterback, and sometimes you're going to drop back in the slot and guard some of these receivers or running backs in zone or man. But it's just less responsibility, and it's the guy that is out there handling everything and cleaning it up. And I think Jarrad Davis will really excel in this position, but the middle linebacker is completely a different type of position. Now, I'm going to talk to y'all about what the middle linebacker does, and this just doesn't line up to what Jarrad Davis actually is doing. And when considering and talking about is he a bust, one of the things is we have to evaluate his abilities and his stats and what he's actually done on the field, and we have to evaluate if he's playing out of position, and we have to evaluate when we drafted him, who else was on the board. Now, this is what a middle linebacker is supposed to do. For the most part, your middle linebacker, they're calling plays depending on the team, and they're in pass coverage and run coverage a lot, and they're in man and zone, and they got to have good power, great play recognition and awareness. And if they're 6'3", 6'4", that jumping and that height ability to bat down some passes can cause some problems for some of the teams. Like when you're that Dante Hightower, Jelani Tavai, Jamie Collins type. That's why these guys are these archetypes play the middle linebacker. Jarrad Davis doesn't fit that height or that build, and it could just annoy some offenses sometimes. And of course, middle linebackers, they just gotta have great physical attributes, the acceleration, the strength, being able to pursue. But the thing is, they switching from man to zone and passing and running, so they covering, switching from man to zone, and you might be calling the play. Sometimes you're covering the tight ends. It's just things that don't line up with Jarrad Davis's skill set. But the special thing about Jarrad Davis is he can play every position, because one of the main things that you need for a 3-4 linebacker is you need speed. But a 3-4 linebacker, they're in pass coverage much more than a 4-3 linebacker. They don't have to, get off of blocks like 4-3 linebackers do, but they're in pass coverage much more. So, of course, because of Jarrad Davis' speed, we're going to put him there, but it's just he doesn't have that ability and pass coverage. The middle linebacker is your hybrid of the linebackers, because they got roles and pass coverage and run coverage in any formation, whether it's zone or man, and they need all of the physical attributes. They really have to be everything in the bag of chips in that front seven when it comes to the linebacking core, and I just don't think that lines up with where Jarrad Davis is. Or where he is right now, or where he has been. And some people would say when we had Snacks Harrison that Jarrad Davis played much better. He did play much better with Snacks Harrison. He does need that good defensive tackle to help him out, but I would argue that Jamie Collins or Tavai might play even better behind a great defensive tackle than Jarrad Davis would, just because of Tavai isn't nearly as fast as Davis. But some of the taller attributes in being able to guard some of the tight ends, we've seen Jamie Collins do it. And when you got Jarrad Davis on that weak side, being a terror and a pass rusher and just shutting down the run and going after the quarterback, and whenever that little slot receiver or running back want to run in the slot, you come in there and you break up the pass. Those are the type of things that we need from Jarrad Davis. And Jarrad Davis might need a change in defense, but he might need a change in defense and position, because in the 4-3, the strong side linebacker, they are in pass coverage the most. So in the 4-3, of course not, but in the 3-4, they're actually more similar to the weak side linebackers, where they're in pass coverage, they're stuffing the run, but they're not on the field as much as the weak side linebackers, depending on what the coverages are. But let me know what you think. Is Jarrad Davis a bust? We done went over some of the responsibilities and draft position with Reuben Foster and his abilities. I don't think Jarrad Davis is a bust. I think he had a very solid first 2 seasons. In the third season, he was very injured. He was out of position. He didn't have the defensive tackles or defensive line to help him, and he was just a fish out of water, and it just didn't look good. But I think he has the potential to be great if a change in position happens with all of his attributes, and he does. I think he does improve and learn and grow, and I think we'll see that from him this season. But let me know if you think this guy is a bust or not. It's just something that we should talk about, because an extension might be coming, or we might let this guy go, and we did draft this guy. So you would hope that he becomes a better football player that's put in a position to succeed, and we sign him back. But make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy 313 J Mo.